So, the purpose of this short podcast is to share with you some examples of my Todd Rundgren video collection, and this part is all about the VHS era. So, I'm sure most of you are familiar with VHS video cassettes. They played on VHS players. There were other formats, Betamax and Philips, which became redundant. Also, around this time, there was another format called Laserdisc, which was far superior, but which had less take up. Now, the emphasis on this podcast is the VHS era of Todd's video releases. And I'm going to be covering things partly from a British perspective because I'm living in the UK. So I'm going to be dealing with British releases as well as the American releases of these items. And I'm also going to be explaining how and when these video cassettes were re-released in DVD for the DVD era. So many of these cassettes are now very collectible, and even the DVD re-releases are often in short supply. So you will probably have to scout around eBay for a lot of these items. And so what I'm going to be doing is explaining to you what materials are actually on these cassettes, and also what the quality is of them as well, so that you can make a decision about whether you want to hunt them out or purchase them, and also to make sure that you can get all the material that's actually available, which is will involve a bit of tracking down, which will hopefully be fun for you. So what I'm going to do is, in each case, I'm going to show you the video cassette, explain what's on it, and also tell you about any DVD re-releases and also differences between American and British releases. So the first example that I want to show you is called An Evening with Utopia. Now, this was released by MCA Videos in 1983, I think. Yes, and it was based on a concert which was done as part of the tour for the Utopia self-titled album. Now, in this album, Utopia had a break from their previous style of recording. So this isn't a progressive rock record. This is very much a kind of fast-paced, short, quite short, simple songs, pop songs, very snappy. And this video, which lasts 83 minutes, perfectly captures the atmosphere of that album and the tour that goes with it. And it's very well directed. It's got lots of crisp, sharp, fast editing, and it's extremely enjoyable to watch. And especially for the time that it was released, it's actually a very high quality video. And the sound quality is excellent as well. Unusually for a VHS cassette, I'll just show the information here, but for a VHS cassette, it was extremely good quality, and it was in Dolby Stereo, which was very unusual for releases of that time on video cassette. Now, Todd Rundgren did, through his own website, a reissue of this on DVD a couple of years ago, and this, he explained at the time that this release was, by its nature, was taken from a video cassette because the original master copy no longer exists. So he was apologizing for the fact that he wasn't able to enhance it in any way, but to be honest, that's completely unnecessary because it was such a well-mastered video cassette that even a DVD taken from it is fantastic quality. So that is well worth seeking out if you can still get a hold of it. So the next video which I want to show you is called Utopia Live at the Royal Oak. Now, this was originally released in Gem Passport Records in the early 80s. It was partly released by people being able to send off a form from their audio cassette of one of the Utopia albums, and it was also available in stores in the United States. But this video cassette that I have here is not the original Passport version from the mid-80s. This is a re-release in 1994 by BMG Video, and it's a very good concert. Again, it was put out just before the Swing to the Right album, and it's got one or two tracks from that, but also lots of classic tracks. It's a little bit short for what we would expect now. It's only 60 minutes, so it's highlights from the concert, but it's been well filmed, and BMG did a fantastic job when they reissued this on video cassette. It was also available by in the Laserdisc format, and in fact BMG later released it on DVD, and this was released in the UK as a video cassette in the 80s, but there wasn't a re-release in the 1990s. I just want to say one other thing about An Evening with Utopia. I understand that this was actually shown on ITV in the UK. I've seen an off-the-air recording from the London area. I don't know how many other ITV regions screened it, but certainly it was shown in London, and on a and they used the as for the commercial break bumpers, they used the cover of the album. So full marks for BMG for the re-release of Utopia live at the Royal Oak. The next one was again released by Gem Passport Records in the mid-80s. It was released again in video cassette and Laserdisc in the mid-90s by BMG, and it's called Utopia, a Retrospective. And it's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. I don't think it's kind of it really stands up now in terms of quality. I think a lot of the original masters were lost of the music videos that were on it. They're also a little bit of a hodgepodge. Some of the material on here was recorded, I think, for showing at concerts. Others is official music videos. And I think when it was re-released in the 90s, really they should have put together some kind of interlocking material, such as narration or an interview or an explanation of what the material is, because you have to kind of work out what you're looking at a lot of the time. And as I said, the technical standard isn't very good by today's standards, and I think there was a lot of overambitious kind of video processing which was done, and the technology didn't live up to the aspirations. So I'd say this is for completists only. I'd give An Evening with Utopia 5 out of 5 stars. I'd also give 5 out of 5 stars for Utopia at the Royal Oak. A retrospective, I'd give 2 stars and say it's for completists only. In fact, one of these stars is for the great job that BMG made with the material. This is their DVD. Again, as with the Royal Oak, the DVD has been brought up to 5.1 surround sound, and that's been done very well, very sympathetically, and it's been done without a kind of over booming or anything like that. It's been done in a way which retains the full kind of sound spectrum. Now, there was a few other versions of the Utopia retrospective, similar releases. There was in the USA a video cassette in the 80s called the Utopia Sampler. And there was also, the Utopia Sampler had 2 of the videos that were on a retrospective, but also another one which is Hammer in My Heart, which is a concert performance of that song, but edited to kind of have the editing match the beat of the song. And indeed, in the UK, there was a release which was simply called Utopia. This is the cassette insert, and the contents of that were Cry Baby, I Just Want to Touch You, You Make Me Crazy, Rock Love, Feet Don't Fail Me Now, and Hammer in My Heart. And that was, I think, also released as a laser disc in the USA. But again, I would say this is more for completists, really, because the quality is not that good, albeit that it's been quite well mastered. So the next one is one of the jewels of the crown, I think, really. It's Todd Rundgren's Videosyncrasy and the ever popular artist effect, both in one cassette. So this is this here. So the main feature on this video cassette is a re-release of, again, one that was released by Gem Passport Records in the 1980s. This video cassette is by BMG, and again, they've done a fantastic job with it. And it consists of a film shot on video called the ever popular Tortured Artist Effect. And it's not directly related to the Todd Rundgren album of that name. It contains music from across his career, but it's a kind of surrealist voyage through his childhood and development. It's got it's got interview segments where he's being interviewed by a mysterious unnamed interviewer. Maybe some people know who that is. And that's interspersed with kind of rather cosmic, psychedelic kind of portrayals of events from his development as a musician and his kind of philosophy on life. So it's quite fascinating. If you're interested in Todd Rundgren music, this is an absolutely superb video to watch. You will really enjoy it. You will find it quite fascinating. And so this cassette has this film on it, and it also has Videosyncrasy, which was a very short video, which apparently they had in America. They called them Video 45s, and the Video 45 had three Todd Rundgren music videos: Hideaway, Can We Still Be Friends, and Time Heals. And these are actually very good, especially Time Heals, in which Todd sings the song Time Heals, which was released on a disc with the Healing album. And he is superimposed in this video on various surrealist paintings, and it works extremely well. I think that Todd's at his best as a video director, producer, when he's doing work which is kind of abstract rather than involving actual physical action. And this is a very nice video. I think the Videosyncrasy was either nominated or got a Grammy, something like that. It's certainly very good. And so this is quite a good package. And indeed, this was also released again on DVD subsequently by BMG Video. Now this was originally shown, its first international broadcast was by Channel 4 in the UK, who networked it in Britain. They actually commissioned the project, so that was shown on network TV in the UK. But the Videosyncrasy, the ever popular Tortured Artist Effect, has never actually been released as a video in the UK, which is surprising considering it was originally a British financed production. So just to bring you now on to what was an absolutely excellent video performance. This is Todd Rundgren live in Japan. Now you can see this is a British video cassette. It's in a clamshell box rather than a cardboard cover. So BMG released this in the UK. They kind of outdid themselves a bit in this. Not only did they not do any publicity for this release, but also, if you look here, they put Todd's name in turquoise on a blue background on the side of the video cassette. So I guess if you didn't know this was coming out, you probably wouldn't know how to look for it. Also, the design's a little bit lazy. What they've done is take the American cardboard box design, which is slimmer, and add a kind of blue strip down the side. So, and this is the reverse of the box artwork. It's an excellent quality video. It's been really well mastered, and it's in Dolby stereo again. So really good quality for a video, because at that time this was released in 1991. Video cassettes were generally not of a very good quality in the UK. They tended to have quite poor sound, sometimes very poor video quality, but this was done excellently. BMG's products tend to be very well done, and that is the case with this video also. Now, this was re-released on DVD by BMG again in the UK much later, and when it was released, it was part of a triple video box set with some other videos which I'm going to mention later. So it was eventually re-released in DVD again by BMG. Okay, so this is part one of Todd Rundgren in the video cassette era. Hope it's been a helpful guide for you. I did forget to mention that Utopia Live at the Royal Oak was actually released as a cassette in the UK, but not subsequently. The UK box design is better than this. It was released by a company called Case International, but it wasn't re-released in the 1990s as it had been in the United States. Okay, hope that's been helpful and not too rambling. Thanks.